G'day mates, I've got a question. Which mask would you prefer sleeping with? This bulky, cumbersome, claustrophobic full face mask that leaves you with embarrassing marks on your face every morning, noisy, difficult to seal, or this lightweight, minimalistic nasal style that you barely even notice? I know which one I'd pick. Whoop! What's that I hear you say? You can't wear a nasal style because you're a mouth breather? Honestly, are you sure about that? Are you telling me that if your mouth magically sealed shut, whoop, that you'd keel over in 30 seconds? That's it? That's all it takes? You're dead, you're gone, that's all she wrote? I don't believe it, and I think you might surprise yourself. You see, the reality is that most of us started out breathing through our nose, and then we developed some not so great habits, mouth breathing, from dealing with sleep apnea. That's what happens. You're choking. So you suck that air in and you develop those bad habits. But here's the good news, my friends. We're treating your sleep apnea now. So with a bit of effort and right advice, well, you can switch back from mouth breathing to nasal breathing. And it's an absolute game changer for A, your sleep apnea control, B, your CPAP therapy comfort, and C, your overall health. And today, I'll teach you how to make the switch. Let's go. So to begin, I thought we'd take a look at a real life case study of someone switching from a full face mask to a nasal mask, and we'll check out the improvements in their CPAP results. And I've got thousands of similar case studies just like this. But this is Marvin over at the Sleep HQ Pro community. G'day Marvin, he's a member. Let's check out his post. I'm currently using an F30i full face mask with my AirSense 10. I always work on minimizing air leaks before I fall asleep and generally have a leak rate of around 20. However, looking at the graphs, I can see that my leak rate is in the 40 to 50 area for much of the night. I have tried tightening the mask, but find that if I tighten too much, the leak rate actually gets worse. Great point that. Sometimes you can over tighten masks and it does more harm than good. Here's a link to my last night's sleep. Any ideas or feedback would be much appreciated. And he's posted a share link there, and share link's one of my favorite Sleep HQ features. It enables you to share an anonymous link to your charts that you can use however you like. You can share it on a Facebook group, on another CPAP forum. You don't have to use our forum, on Reddit, or perhaps you just want to put it in an email, send it to your doctor, whatever you like. Really powerful tool. And what it does is it enables other CPAP users to help you. Just like here, you got 19 comments here, and I'm pretty sure someone mentioned you should try a nasal style mask. Let's take a look at his charts when he's using the F30i. Here we go. All right, so this is the Sleep HQ dashboard, and you can use this for free. This is my platform. So if you want to get charts like this, click the link above and check it out. All right, so to start, Saturday 4th of May 2024, apnea-hypopnea index of 11.59, up 4.67 on the previous night. That's too high, but what I'm about to show you is that's actually an underestimation of what the actual AHI is. And over here, the 95th percentile leak rate is 43.2, also very high. Anything above 24 liters per minute is considered high leak. And I'll show you the importance of that in a moment, but the median leak rate here, 32.4. So that's very high. All right, we'll scroll down and check out the leak and also take a look at what it's doing to the pressure, the automatic pressure delivery, the breathing, and also the blood oxygen levels. And we can see it all here. Okay, so this first trace here, this green line, is the automatic pressure delivery changing over time throughout the night in response to his breathing, which is down here. We'll take a look at that in a moment. And this here, this blue line, these are the mask leak rates changing throughout the night over time here. You can see 11:30, 12 o'clock, and so on. So they're bumping around all over the place, but a lot of leak. All right, we want this leak to be as low as possible. And this is what's referred to as unintentional leak. So every CPAP mask has an exhalation port to remove the carbon dioxide so you don't rebreathe all that carbon dioxide. Here's the holes at the front here. You will always receive some airflow through that. That's normal, but this is unintentional leak on top of that coming out through the sides of the mask. Now below, we have the breathing chart, and we're going to zoom in now and take a look at every breath. Not all of them, but most of the breaths here. All right, let's zoom in a bit. All right, so cool to see. Now, I'll explain this to you quickly. So this here is Marvin's breathing. So his AirSense 10 captures all this data and stores it on the SD card. And when we upload the data to Sleep HQ, we can see every breath he takes right here in high resolution. And you can see Marvin breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out, breathing in, breathing out. And then you can see his breathing gets very shallow. See here? Taking very small breaths. And then at the end, we get great big breaths. And what you can see are these purple vertical lines here, here, here. These are hypopnea flags that are marked by a CPAP machine. And below the breathing chart, we have the SpO2 chart, this pink trace here. And this is Marvin's blood oxygen levels. He wears a Sleep HQ O2 ring here, which is a Bluetooth continuous pulse oximeter. It measures his blood oxygen every 4 seconds. He just puts it on when he goes to sleep, takes it off in the morning, and all this information syncs up with his CPAP data right here on Sleep HQ. Pretty cool. And we've got a few more charts, snoring and so on. We won't go into those right now. But what I want to show you is this. It's crystal clear that this is sleep disordered breathing. Yeah, very irregular. We've got the hypopnea flags marked here, blood oxygen dropping in response to that shallow breathing. And the machine knows this, eh? It's flagging the events. It knows there's sleep apnea there. And what you would expect from his AirSense 10 automatic is for the pressure to increase to treat the sleep apnea. That's how it works, all right? You got this upper airway restriction here. We need to force more air to open up the airway, push air down into his lungs. But let's check out the pressure trace. Have a look at this. Starts up here 7.9, but look what it's doing. It's doing the opposite, eh? It's dropping down. Now, do you know why it's coming down when it should be going up? The leak rates. This is what's called leak compensation. The machine is stuck between a rock and a hard place. It knows there's sleep apnea there. It wants to treat that sleep apnea by delivering higher pressures, but it can't, because if it delivers higher pressure, what's going to happen to the leak? This leak rate here at 38.4, it's going to go higher again. So you get higher leak out of the mask, less pressure in the mask, so you're just getting this vicious cycle. So what it does, it drops the pressure down. You can see it dropping the pressure down, and look at the leak rates here. They start to come down also, down to 31. So it has dropped, and then you get another hypopnea flag, and then we get a jump in the pressure here. Okay, now we're going to scroll forward. So that's the first thing I want to show you there, why leak rates are really important, because it screws around with the automatic algorithm because of leak compensation. That's number one. I want to show you this here as well. All right, do you notice anything different now that I've scrolled forward a little bit? We've got the same breathing here. You can see the shallow breaths followed by the big breaths, but what's missing? The flags, okay? There's no more hypopnea flags. There should be one here, 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 here. If we scroll forward, look at them. Here, here, here. They're all gone. Oh, there's one here. You can see the blood oxygen's the same. Drop, coming up. Okay, so this is why I said previously that the AHI is an underestimation, and we see this all the time. I've done heaps of videos on it. I often get asked, if the AHI is really low, do leak rates even matter? Does it matter if they're kicking up here at 40 litres per minute? And this is why the answer is always yes, they do. Number one, leak compensation will kick in. It will stuff around with the automatic algorithm, as you can see here, coming down when it should be going up. And number two, it stops the machine flagging these respiratory events, your hypopneas, your apneas, your central apneas, with statistical accuracy. And you can see here, so many events missed. We'll go forward a bit, see if there's any more. There's another one here. Another one here. And these are just clear as day. Have a look at this. Look at these great big drops in the flow. Big drops in oxygen. See it here? Look at the big drop. Woo! All right, very easy to see the pattern. Another one here. Another one here. Okay, another one here. Oh, they marked this one. And last of all, you might not know this, but if you have high leak rates, your humidifier chamber will run through water a lot faster. And as you're probably aware, especially with the AirSense 11 users, one of the main complaints is the water chamber running dry. And when it does run dry, it continues to heat, so you get nasty smells, not great for your machine. So there you go. So there's a few reasons why leak rates are really important. Now let's check out when Marvin made the big switch from the ResMed F30i full face mask, this cumbersome beast here, to the new Fisher & Paykel Solo Nasal. Hey. Now, if you're someone who struggles with the clips, the Velcro adjustments, this is your mask, my friends. It has this new auto-adjusting, auto-locking headgear. No clips, Velcro, or buckles. I'll put it on, give you a quick demo. So you just pull it back. You can do it one-handed, but you just pull it back, slide it over your head, right? And then you just lock it into place by pushing it in. Boop. That's it, locked into place. Now let's say you're getting a bit of an air leak here. What you do, you just tweak it. Okay? Locked in tighter this side. Or let's say you're getting a bit of nasal irritation, you want it a bit looser, just pick it, pull it out a little bit. See that? Just locks into place. Push it in, lock, pull it out, lock. Too easy. Really cool stuff. It's not the quietest mask on the market, but I highly recommend you check it out. And if you want to give it a try, head on over to sleeplay.com. You can save 20% off with the coupon code HANSOLO20. Sleep HQ Pro members, you get an even bigger discount. And check this out. Enjoy free shipping on orders over $99, 30-day mask exchange. And you earn rewards points as well. And it's FSA, HSA eligible. All right. So, one important tip here. See the sizes. This is a great tip for any CPAP mask that has a fit pack. You can see here, you can order the size medium, small, large, or wide, or you can get it in the fit pack, small, medium, and large cushions included. You don't get the wide, all right, but you get the small, medium, and large. So you choose fit pack, right? So you got all the options there. This is the cushion. So easy to take apart this mask. Look at that, done. So good. So you can try out different sizes. Oh, what do we have here? A little pop-up, just as we're talking right now. Oh, Memorial Day savings. So right now, if you're quick, you could save 25% off, but you might have to add a few more things to your basket there. All right, there we go. And obviously you can chat with them down below. All right, so that's pretty cool, but pick up the fit pack. And this is the reason. A, you can check out the different sizes. But B, let's just say you know you're a medium. You get the other sizes, and then you can just sell them off on the Facebook Marketplace. We've even got a buy, sell, swap group in the Sleep HQ Pro Community Forum. So you get your other cushions, put them up there. All right, let's carry on. Let's check out these results. All right, let's go through it. So over here, we have the full face, the F30i, and then over here, a week later, we have the Solo mask. Straight up, apnea-hypopnea index, originally 12. We know that's an underestimation. More likely, 40, maybe more. And here we go, apnea-hypopnea index, 0.3. Less than 1. How good is that? But check this out, the leak rates here. All right, now it's down 7.2. Now this is the 95th percentile leak rate, this value here, which means 95% of the time, the leak is at or below 7.2, but I normally like to go off the median here, and the median is 0.0, right, versus a median here of 32.4. All right, you can see here, these are the machine settings. Nothing's changed apart from the humidity level. All right, he dropped the humidity down because he was getting a little bit of moisture in the tube. Let's go down here. I want to show you this also. All right, have a look at the difference between the automatic pressure delivery, the pressure changing throughout the night over time. So this is when there's a lot of leak. Look at it jumping around. Have a look at that profile here, the green line. Right? It's jumping all over the place because it doesn't know what to do. It's coming down because of leak compensation, and it's bouncing up again because he's got a lot of respiratory events. It's all over the place. This is how it's supposed to look over here on the right. Look at the difference. Hey, I'll just bring that up a little bit. There we go. Much more stable, isn't it? You know, it goes up to treat sleep apnea as it should. If breathing is stabilized, it comes back down and then it goes up again. Here's the leak rate chart. You can see a huge improvement. A few little bits and pieces here. This might be mouth leak here. And we'll talk a little bit more about mouth leak a bit later in the video because that is one of the challenges now when using a nasal mask. I'll give you a few tips on that. And then the breathing here. Let's just zoom in and check out some of this breathing. Okay, see how the breathing here is nice and stable? See that? Now let's zoom in here. Again, look at the difference. All right, I'll zoom in a bit more. See the difference there? Shallow, big spikes, beautiful and stable. Big difference. And let's check out the blood oxygen. Check it out. All right, now this wasn't his best night, but it's still really good. 96. Look how stable that is. Look over here. Hey, big difference, isn't there? All right, so just incredible. We'll just have a quick look at these other charts as well. Well, I've got your attention, hopefully still. Airflow limitation is upper airway resistance. The closer these green bars get to 1, the more resistance there is during inhalation. A lot of airflow resistance, a lot less airflow resistance. Look at all the snore. So much snoring going on. No snoring, hardly any snoring. Okay. Now we're going to go back to full screen here, and I want to show you this new feature we've just added to Sleep HQ. It's a weekly report feature, and we send out these weekly reports automatically to your inbox every week. But you can also jump into your profile and download them, and you can compare any week with the previous 12 weeks. But we just send you the most recent week compared to a week prior. I'll show you it here. It's pretty cool. So this is comparing F30i one week versus solo the next week. And this is one of the great things about this weekly report. Really good when you're comparing maybe a mask change, a settings change. You can dive into the data and see what's actually changed. And we'll have a look now. So the first part is the CPAP therapy data, and I'll run it through with you quickly. So we've got the average AHI over the week, 7.81 with the full face mask, down to 0.51, which is an improvement of 93.4%. Total time in apnea. So over the course of the week, how long was he in apnea for? And this is obstructive apnea events. 1 hour, 2 minutes and 7 seconds versus only 3 minutes and 18 seconds. What a great improvement, 94.69. Longest apnea event was 54 seconds. That was the length of his longest for the week versus only 17 seconds. Total obstructive apnea count, 178 versus only 11, improvement of 93.82. Total central apnea count, 60 versus 5. Total hypopnea count, 133 for the week versus 7. How good is that? And if we come down here, check out the average leak. Average leak, 23.06 versus only 2.94 liters per minute. 87.25% down. Total time in large leak. So over the course of the week, he was in large leak for 1 day, 3 hours and 17 minutes. That's a lot of leak versus only 47 minutes and 6 seconds for the whole week with the solo there. Now the best day, so this is the best day of the prior week versus this week. And you can see here that his best day, the 5th of the 9th, 0.613, that wasn't with this mask. All right, there's a bit of overlap in the weeks there. So his best day was both with the solo. All right. And then the worst day, 32.8 versus 5.7. Really good stuff. And if we come down a little bit more, this is that flow limitation I was talking about before. So the average flow limitation, that's the upper airway resistance. You got your obstructive apneas, your hypopneas, like big reductions in breathing. Flow limitations like smaller reductions in breathing, but still really, really important. Average 0.05, now down to 0.02. Really good. That's down 60%. Big improvement. Let's check out the oxygen. This is pretty cool. Look at this. Total time spent below 90. 53 minutes and 56 seconds. Over the course of the week, he was below 90. Now it's just 32 seconds. Look at that. 99.01%. Gotta love that. Really good. And then you got some heart data as well. Heart rate average. Heart rate's dropped, which is what you'd expect. Highest heart rate has dropped. Lowest heart rate has dropped. Improvements. So improvements all around. And that weekly report is available to Sleep HQ Pro members. Like I said, comes out every week. You get an email like this. Wake up, your Sleep HQ weekly report is ready. And then you just click this link. You can share the link if you like. Once again, it's a share link. It's anonymous. You can share it with whoever you like on whatever platform you like. And you can also download a PDF version if you like. And here's something else I've been playing around with a bit lately. If you're a fan of your large language models, your ChatGPT and the like, ChatGPT just released a free version, GPT-4 Omni or 4.0, and it enables you to upload PDFs and files for free. So you can sign up for an account and then you can upload your Sleep HQ weekly report or your monthly report or a number of reports, whatever you like. We hope to eventually just bring this into the platform. It's sort of already there, but we're still mucking about with it. So you just upload your report, click here, upload your report, and then just use your imagination. Please always use your manners when chatting with large language models. You'll get better outputs. There's a great tip for you right there. Please analyze the attached Sleep HQ report and provide highlights, lowlights, and recommendations, and make it funny. Here we go. This is great. All right, let's go through some of this for a bit of fun. Highlights. Number 1, CPAP therapy superstar. Your average AHI went from a horror movie like 7.81 to nearly invisible 0.51. That's a drop of 93.47%. It seems like your airways are now as clear as a politician's promises before elections. Not bad. Hopefully it gets a little funnier. Leak plugging expert. The average leak dropped by 87.25%, and the total time in large leak plummeted from over a day to less than an hour. Who knew you'd become so good at keeping air in? Maybe you have a future in balloon artistry. I'm a hard judge. Oxygen overachiever. Your lowest oxygen saturation shot up from 73% zombie level to a much livelier 86%. It's like your blood turned into a more exclusive club with higher O2 percentage. Lowlights. Tidal volume tumble. Your average tidal volume, well, this is interesting, decreased by 9.05%. This might mean you're taking slightly shallower breaths. Not ideal unless you're trying to win a least air used competition. So what they're saying here is with the solo, there was slightly less air traveling into the lungs with each breath. And if you think about it, that makes sense. I mean, with this mask, you're breathing air in through your mouth and your nose, and with this, just your nose. So slightly less air, not a big deal. Minute ventilation reduction. There's also an 8.71% drop in minute ventilation. This could be part of a secret plan to conserve air for future generations. Very thoughtful of you. I like that. That's good. Obviously, if you're bringing in less air, just a little bit less air per breath, then over the course of the minute ventilation, it will be slightly lower as well. And that's what we see here, 8.71% drop. Pressure peaks. there's a slight increase in the pressure settings, including a 9.87% rise at the 95th percentile. Seems like your CPAP machine is getting a bit pushy, huh? So what they're saying here is that with the Solo, there's a little bit of an increase in the pressure delivery. And that's because what I mentioned before, the leak compensation kicking in and reducing the pressure when it really needs to increase it. So with the Solo, we see that it was increasing more. We didn't get any of that leak compensation kicking in, mucking about with the algorithm. Let's check out the recommendations. Celebrate the wins. Seriously, throw a little party for those amazing improvements in AHI and oxygen levels. Just maybe skip the balloons since you're so good at keeping air in now. Pretty good. Monitor the breath work. Keep an eye on that tidal volume and minute ventilation. Maybe practice some deep breathing exercises during the day. Imagine you're inflating a giant imaginary balloon. Great practice and no helium needed. Stay consistent. Your CPAP usage is pretty consistent, but always aim for those best day records. Maybe challenge yourself to beat the best month where you try to outdo your longest usage or lowest leak rate. And remember, every night you're one step closer to becoming the sleep champion of your dreams. Keep up the great work and may your nights be as peaceful as a sloth on vacation. There you go. It's just a bit of fun and something you might like to try yourself. Now to finish up, we'll have a bit more of a casual chat and we'll talk about the challenges of using a nasal style, and I'll also give you some tips to make the transition a little easier. And these tips are also great for beginners. So if you're a beginner, make sure you stick around. Now, when it comes to the challenges, the first challenge is it's harder to exhale because you're breathing out into this tiny little dead space versus that great big full face mask dead space, little nasal prongs here. So that's challenge number one. And challenge number two is keeping your mouth shut. Obviously with a full face mask, you can breathe through your nose, you can breathe through your mouth, you can breathe however you like. With your nasal mask, you're breathing exclusively through your nose and you got to keep your mouth shut. And the airflow traveling into the nasal style mask is a lot faster, higher velocity. So you're more prone to mouth leaking with this style mask versus a full face mask. So they're the two challenges that we need to overcome. It does take a little bit of effort, a little bit of practice, but I reckon probably 70% of you can do it. All right, there's 70% of you watching right now using a full face mask that can use this within 1 to 2 weeks. I guarantee it. I've been doing this for nearly 20 years now. Now we've got a few tools in the old tool belt, and all of these tools will improve therapy comfort no matter what mask you're using. Number one, pressure relief. ResMed has EPR, Philips has your C-Flex, your A-Flex, there's SoftPAP, there's ResLex, there's a whole bunch of them. But what it does is it reduces the pressure during exhalation to make it easier to breathe out. And with a small pillow mask, that helps a lot. So that's number one, pressure relief. Number two, and you might not know this one, but you know with your machine settings how you can input the mask type you're using, you can put full face, nasal pillow. Well, that changes the airflow dynamics. You see, with a little pillow mask, there's a lot more airflow resistance because it's smaller. And because of this, the machine changes the velocity, the speed of the air, so it's much faster to account for that drop in pressure because of the added resistance. Don't worry about the technicalities too much. What it means is the airflow is faster, and the faster the air, the more likely that you're going to experience mouth leak, and also the harder it is to exhale. All right, so what you want to do is choose full face mask in the settings. All right, try it out. It's incredible. You'll just notice it's much easier to use a pillow mask on the full face settings. Yes, you might get a little drop in the pressure. This is true. But the ResMed algorithm is so aggressive anyway. It always over delivers too much pressure. So a little bit of a drop is good. Number three, and it's along similar lines, it's all about reducing the velocity, the speed of that airflow, which makes CPAP therapy so much easier. And it's switching from a 15mm slimline tube, which I think most of you are probably using. This is a ResMed Climate Line tube. Clicks into the AirSense 10, a heated tube, to a 19mm standard tube. Right? We're increasing the diameter of the tube, which softens the airflow. ResMed does make a 19mm version for the AirSense 10. It's called the Climate Line Air Oxy, I think. All right, see, it's a little bit wider. It does have this little port on the end. Don't worry about that. It's just got to plug that off unless you're using oxygen. And boy, isn't that a buzz? Honestly, oxygen, so good. We won't go into it right now. So you can continue to use your climate line tube, which lets you adjust the temperature inside the settings. So you can do that if you like. But you can also get Hibernate Super Dry. This tubing has its own power supply and it's my go-to in winter. It gets much warmer than the ResMed climate line. This tubing here gets up to 93 Fahrenheit. What's the ResMed? 86 degrees Fahrenheit. And if you add, I highly recommend you do, a tube cozy. This one here is from Pat a Cheek. So good, so good. Expensive, but damn, this is the best by far. Gets up to like 95. So if you're struggling with rain out in a really cold environment, this is it, my friends. And when you connect this to your ResMed, in the settings, you can then change from slimline to standard. What are we up to? Number 4. Now, a lot of users enjoy this little CPAP comfort accessory called VCOM by Sleep Res, invented by Dr. William Noah, who, interesting character. I like him. But you just connect up VCOM to your mask. All right, so there's your mask, there's VCOM, and then you connect your tubing up here. It's got little holes in it. And what it does is it just softens the airflow when you're breathing in, drops the pressure a little bit, reduces that high velocity that we've been talking about. However, when you exhale, it maintains that EPAP, that back pressure, to stabilize your airway. So you might like to give that a try. A lot of Sleep HQ members swear by it, especially for mouth leak, aerophagia, air building up in your stomach, and also some people, central apnea. So it's only 25 bucks. So if you'd like to give that a try, you can. And last of all, my favorite, optimizing your automatic pressure levels, your pressure min, your lower level, and your pressure max, your upper level. This is your pressure range. All right. Now with the ResMed automatic algorithm, it is extremely aggressive. It always over delivers what's required to stabilize, normalize your breathing and give you that nice, even breathing profile. It goes too high. That's what I'm trying to say here. But we can go in there and we can lower that pressure max level to start with whatever you're comfortable with. It doesn't really matter. Forget the AHI. Just work yourself into it. That's the best way. It's like if you're going to go for a jog. You don't just go jog 10 miles straight up. You might jog 2 miles to start with, 4 miles. You work your way into it. Same with a nasal pillow mask, all right? But you just find a pressure max that you're comfortable with, that you can exhale against, that you're not having mouth leak with. And then over time, you can gradually increase that if you need to. Most of you will find when you switch from a full face to a nasal pillow or a nasal style that you acquire far less pressure. I've done a few videos on this. Some guys are on 20 with the full face mask. They switch to this, they're on 12. It's crazy, all right? And that's because the airflow is more direct and there's just so many studies that show using a nasal style mask is like so much better for your CPAP therapy results, your sleep apnea control. I'll see if I can put some in the description down below for you, but there's tons of them, heaps. And there's also so much information about nasal breathing versus mouth breathing, also so much better for you. All right, when you're breathing through your nose, it's heating the air, it's filtering the air, it's humidifying the air. It's basically prepping the air for your lungs so that it matches up with your lungs. When you're breathing through your mouth, none of that. You get dry mouth, you get bad breath, you get tooth decay. No good. Mouth breathing. No more mouth breathing. We don't want it. So what can we do about that then? I'm not a big fan of the chin straps, to be honest, and that's because, like, if you're going down to something like this, you don't want more crap all over your face, really. Like, less is better, all right? But if you want to, you can try a chin strap. The Knightsbridge chin strap looks like you've got like a great big jock strap on your head. They're probably the best, but there's a fair bit to them. What you can do is this actually. If you've got a full face mask and you just want to try using your full face mask and nasal breathing before you go and buy like a Solo or another pillow, grab yourself some mouth tape. right? There's lots you can buy. I've got so much of it. I highly rate kinesiology tape. Right? It's like a stretchable, just peel some off so you can have a bit of a look. Like you can buy a giant roll of this for like, I don't know, $8. It'll last you for months and months and months. Or you can buy pre-cut mouth strips as well of this, but let me show you that there. So see how it's like this stretchy tape and it's breathable. So you might not be able to see it here, but like it's fabric, so you can. It's not super easy to breathe through. You could cut a hole if you like, but that's something you can check out. Hostage tape. I just like the branding, no affiliation with them. They did give me a coupon code. Actually, is this the mouth tape? Yeah, this is the mouth tape. Oh, yes, baby, here we go. So these guys make this mouth tape here, and you can see it's like pre-cut. So you just, boom, love doing that. So it's pre-cut. It works surprisingly well with facial hair. Don't ask me how, but it's pre-cut kinesiology tape. So pucker up your lips, and then you just there you go. So what you can do is just mouth tape and then wear your full face mask. See how you go. Take it nice and easy. Little tip for you. Now, hostage tape also make, and I'm in love with these. I just love them. They're nasal dilating strips. Every night before bed, nasal saline rinse, nice warm nasal saline rinse, clears everything out. Shoot some eucalyptus up the nose, you know, the little Vicks inhalers, and then nasal strip. It's just my routine and I love it. You could also throw in there a shower, warm shower if you want to. If you're using your CPAP machine, humidification. Nice, warm, humid air just really opens everything up. So that's another tip I didn't mention before, but I have just now. But do this for me. So just gently rest your fingertips on the outside of your nose and then breathe in really quick just through your nose. Can you feel that? Can you feel that suction feeling? That's inhalation. Inhalation is like a very negative pressure. Everything contracts in. When you're breathing out, it's the opposite. Everything sort of opens up. But what these do is they're flexible. Like they've got, watch right, see that? So when you put them on, watch what happens to my nose here. I'd love to put a camera up there. We won't do it, but I just put them on just up here. You're supposed to sort of clean your nose, but watch this. It like springboards my nose open. And just the difference is instantaneous. I would walk around wearing this every day if I didn't look like a criminal. I know I already look like a criminal. You don't need to point that out, all right? But look at that. Do it. And you can do this with your nasal pillow mask. You don't really need to when you're wearing a CPAP mask because, you know, the positive airflow will open up your nostrils anyway, but you can do it if you want to. Awesome. Actually, I wonder how it would go with like your full size F20 mask. You know, the ones that come up over the bridge of the nose? I wonder if they actually push in there. Because if you're pushing in there, it's going to make it much harder to breathe through your nose. So these might be good. They might also work as like a bit of a guard to help protect your skin. Might be onto something there. Right, so there's another tip for you. Little nasal dilating strips. Absolute winner. Now, if there's one thing we don't want when we're using a nasal style mask, it's congestion. Shrinking of the nasal passages, mucus buildup. We don't want it, we don't need it. All right, so we want to alleviate congestion. Decongestion is the name of the game. So we want to avoid cold, dry air, and we want to increase the humidification, make that air nice and warm. It's really going to protect inside your nose. Why you get a runny nose, that mucus is the protection. Right? That's your nose trying to protect itself from the dry, cool air. So if we increase the temperature, increase the humidification, you won't get all that runny nose and stuff, right? Because your nose is already protected from the nice, warm, humid air. We also want to sleep on a slight incline, if you want to, which helps that congestion drain down into your stomach. Delicious. That does help. You know, like if you're just walking around before you go to bed, you're breathing fine, you lie down flat, all of a sudden you're like, I can't breathe anymore, what just happened? Well, you lay down, that's what happened, all right? So now the mucus isn't draining, it's just pooling up there. So you want to be on a slight inclination, and if possible, stay off your back, all right? Because when you're on your back, this is a bit of a going off topic here, but when you're on your back, sleep apnea is far worse. And that means the pressure will increase far more. And the higher the pressure, the harder it is to use the nasal pillow mask. So we want to keep that pressure as low as possible. Like I said before about sort of capping that pressure max. That's what we're trying to achieve. Lower pressure, lower velocity, warmer air, more humidity, nasal style. And just watch what you eat before bed. Go and drink a Coke now. Try it out for yourself. Drink a Coke and report back to me. That high sugar is just inflammatory. Congestion, you'll feel it in your throat, you'll feel it in your nose within 10 minutes. Try it out and get back to me. I think that's enough. I'm hungry, I'm thirsty. Been a long video. Until next time, sleep well, look after your mates, and I'll see you soon. Cheers. And make the switch.